Hello, and welcome back to another Mentor Monday live stream.
Hi, I'm Alexis.
I'm Diana.
And today we're talking about resources on campus.
Yeah, so we have a special episode for you guys. We've brought 4 different departments here on campus to the live stream to kind of answer questions and just talk about their department and what resources they offer for our students.
Yeah, and we're also having them take your questions, and they're going to be answering them at the end of the live stream, so stay tuned for that. And Diana's going to be interviewing them all.
So please ask us your questions, but be patient. We will answer them all at once at the end. So we have from Student Activities, Charlene Jones-Chavez. We have from Academic Advisors, Miss Melissa Blanton. From Women's Studies Institute, Megan Nieto. And from the Dreamer Center, Courtney Balderas Jacobs. So without further ado,
I will step off of camera and you'll get started.
Let's give a warm welcome to Miss Charlene Jones-Chavez. Yay!
Hi! Oh, yay, there is an audience in the background.
So you're in charge of basically all of student activities, or?
Not quite. I'm the Senior Associate Director for the Student Activities Office, so I report directly to our Associate Dean of Students and Director of Student Activities, which is Barry McKinney.
Oh, cool. So do you oversee student orgs?
I do work directly with our student organizations, in addition to Amanda Perez, who is our Assistant Director of Student Activities. We both work together in ensuring our student organizations are registered, following all of our policies and procedures, and making sure that they're getting involved in the various events and activities that are available to them on campus.
Awesome. So speaking about student orgs, I know there's a lot of student orgs here on campus, but what if I can't find one that suits me personally and I just want to create one? How would I go about that?
That's the best thing you can do if you can't find a home, although we have about 340 student organizations at this point in time, and that number grows about weekly because we have new student groups coming on all the time. It takes you plus 4 other friends to get a student organization started. You have to attend a new student organization orientation meeting, which we host those once a month in August, September, October, November, December, and then again in January, February, March, and April. We do take the summer off, knowing most of our students aren't necessarily trying to start a student organization at that time. You attend that meeting, get all the information needed to get started, especially with writing a constitution. That's the next big thing about starting an organization, is you've got to have some rules to govern your group. And then you will also have to attend our state-mandated risk management training hosted by Jarvis Clark, our Associate Director of Student Activities. And we have those once a month as well that students are able to attend for their organizations. Once you take care of all of that, your registration will get approved and you get to exist as a student organization at UTSA.
Awesome. So what are some resources for student orgs?
We have a number of resources for our organizations. We oversee making sure students are following our fundraising guidelines, our tabling guidelines, posting guidelines, that being for flyers and banners on campus. We also provide leadership training opportunities, especially through our Council of Student Organizations. They're hosting monthly workshops for our student leaders and student orgs. We're also hosting town hall meetings each month for student organizations to come and talk to us, as well as the Council of Student Organizations, about the things that they need or changes that could be made that they think are appropriate.
So I know that there's a lot of policies that go into student orgs and that have to be followed. Can you list some of the important ones?
The biggest ones that our student organizations are going to run into and have to abide by, number one is posting, because every student organization wants to advertise their events and activities that are coming up on campus. And so we're still traditional in the sense that folks will still look at flyers and banners on campus. And so we do have our posting guidelines available, and you can get those at our front desk in the Student Activities Complex, which is in the HEB Student Union behind the subway. The other one would be our fundraising guidelines. Every student organization is always outside in the Central Plaza area trying to sell something, right? Particularly food items. And so we have a lot of guidelines that our student orgs have to follow and ensure that they have their reservation taken care of through events management and conference services, and then our office would approve them as well. And so we reach out and work with our student orgs a lot, especially on fundraisers. The other one happens to be Peaceful Public Assembly, which we've had a lot of lately on our campus, and so our office is also tasked with ensuring our students know what the process is to do that. And those guidelines are provided to us by the Handbook of Operating Procedures for the university. So it applies not just to students and student organizations, but also to our faculty and staff as well. So we're kind of the home and the hub for those types of things.
So I know you guys are also the home of a bunch of different programs that go on campus. Specifically one that's coming up or happening this week, Homecoming.
Homecoming is one of the biggest things that the Office of Student Activities helps coordinate, in addition with our Roadrunner Productions office. We also do some partnering with our Alumni Association, especially for Best Fest. But yes, this week is Homecoming Week Roadrunner, so come out and enjoy. Tonight we're doing our golf cart decorating party for our student organizations. Tomorrow is our golf cart parade, as well as Roadrunners Live, where your fellow students get to showcase their talents to the university community. We also have a homecoming comedy show on Wednesday. We're going to have a field day and t-shirt exchange on Thursday, and then of course everybody's looking forward to Best Fest on Friday, where once again students are going to be fundraising. And for all of you who don't know, but was one of my favorite bands when I was in college, Sugar Ray is going to be there to perform. So we're really excited to have everybody out.
That's awesome. So I've seen posters all over campus about something called Mr. and Mrs. UTSA.
So Mr. and Miss UTSA are part of our tradition of having a homecoming court here at the university. And so we have 6 candidates, 3 men, 3 women, who are vying for the top title of Mr. and Miss UTSA. Voting will actually take place starting tomorrow, really tonight at midnight, October 9th through midnight of October 10th. So you get like a full 48 hours to vote for your favorite students to represent you as Mr. and Miss UTSA. And that'll be announced at the halftime performance of the football game on Saturday.
Awesome. So I know that this isn't necessarily this semester, but next semester in the spring typically we do Fiesta UTSA.
We do. Our Roadrunner Productions student organization actually hosts that event, and it's somewhat similar to Best Fest in that we do a lot of the food booths and beverage booths, and it's a nice festival, and it's an official Fiesta event for the city of San Antonio.
Oh, that's cool. And then what is this Who's Who?
Who's Who? So we have Who's Who at UTSA, which is an award that students have the opportunity to apply for. Actually, applications will become available after homecoming. So students who have are at least in good academic standing are invited to submit an application, and it's an opportunity for you as students to showcase all the things that you're doing, not just inside the classroom, but outside of the classroom. So being a peer mentor, for example, would be a great thing to put on your application for Who's Who. So be on the lookout. Those emails will be going out by the end of next week.
Let's see. And so are you guys involved in convocation and commencement?
Well, you're actually talking to the lady who's responsible for coordinating commencement for our university. And so the Office of Student Activities is now the home of commencement. And so we work very closely with our academic partners across the institution, as well as the administration, of ensuring that our commencement ceremonies are held each semester. So December 16th is our commencement day for the fall semester. And we're hosting 2 ceremonies, and you can get all that information at utsa.edu/commencement.
And so actually the 2 co-hosts on this Mentor Monday are going to be graduating in December. So
that's exciting.
We're so excited.
Well, you'll get to see me as well as a lot of our student activities staff and partners there at the event in the Alamo Dome.
So I know that next Monday is Grad Fest. Do you partake in that or have any participation in that, or is that separate?
So Grad Fest is next Monday for the main campus from 10 to 7, and next Tuesday for the downtown campus from 1 to 6 p.m. I get to help provide some academic regalia for those photos that you might want to take at Grad Fest, but it's really put on by our graduation coordination office, which is housed inside the registrar's office, and this is a chance for our students to not only get photos, but you can order announcements, you can order your regalia talk to some folks about taking care of those student loans that I know most of us have taken out in order to get through college. If you're graduating with university honors, it gives you a chance to pick up those gold cords because everybody wants some swag to wear at commencement every year, right? And don't forget, for all of our first-gen students, you can still purchase first-gen stoles at the Roadrunner Express in the Student Union for commencement as well.
It's really cool. Well, thank you so much for coming out. We'll bring you back for some questions at the end.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. So next we'll have from our Women's Study Institute, Megan Nieto. So,
Hello.
hi. So first off, this is the first time I'm hearing about the Women's Study Institute.
Okay.
So can you give me a little bit of information on what you guys do?
Sure, of course. So the Women's Studies Institute here at UTSA, unlike most women's studies programs and women's studies research centers across the country, we function as a student center and a community outreach program, and we also provide a research agenda that provides an intellectual and social climate for faculty, graduate, and undergraduate student researchers.
Oh, that's so cool. So I know that y'all provide a bachelor's in women's studies or even a minor in women's studies. What does it kind of look like for getting maybe a minor or a bachelor's in that field?
Yeah, our Bachelor's of Arts in Women's Studies offers students the opportunity to examine the social, cultural, historical, and political experiences of women, men, and non-binary folks from an interdisciplinary perspective. And this emphasis on cross-disciplinary approaches enables students to pursue a theoretically informed understanding of women and issues of gender and sexuality in diverse U.S. and global cultures across time. Our minor in women's studies pairs well with a variety of majors, and I'd argue with any major. Many of our students minoring in women's studies major in public health, English, communications, history, and others, and they find their women's studies courses useful and insightful, and we as a department encourage this interdisciplinary research. My PhD, for instance, is in English, but I also do women and gender studies.
Oh, that's so cool. So do you guys do any like outreach or community engagement?
We do in a number of different ways. So through our internship program, we allow our women's studies majors and minors to get hands-on experience in professional and academic settings. They're able to do nonprofit and for-profit community organization work, desktop publishing, public relations, grant writing, and community outreach through a number of different centers in San Antonio and on campus in the Women's Studies Institute itself. And this allows students to network, and it also allows them the opportunity to translate their academic interests into this real-world professional setting as they prepare for graduation and for their future careers. Some of the sites our students have had the opportunity to intern at include the San Antonio Rape Crisis Center and the Institute here on campus, among others. Students who intern for the Rape Crisis Center have found part-time employment after completing their internship, and many students who graduated from our program have found full-time employment at the Rape Crisis Center. And our students who intern in the Institute here on campus are able to gain marketable skills by helping to plan various events that we host throughout the year, and I'm happy to talk about some of those in a bit.
Definitely. You said something about scholarships being offered. Is it just to the bachelors, or is it for also minors?
It's also for minors, and our application deadline for the 2019-2020 school year is coming up February 15th, and we invite students to apply for that.
Oh, okay, cool. So you had mentioned something, some events that students help put on, or that the Institute hosts. Can you elaborate a little bit on those?
Of course, yeah. So we have our month-long celebration, the Women Histories Month in March. And at that event, we invite scholars and creatives and professionals from San Antonio and throughout the country who share really interesting information and their research and different topics. And we also host book talks and show films and other kind of really great things. We have a Take Back the Night event this coming Thursday at October 11th. It starts at 6 and runs for several hours. And it's a march and event where we'll be sharing resources about ways of combating sexualized violence, domestic violence, and other violences against women and different gendered bodies. And we'll be having a march and speakers, and we'll have people reading poetry and sharing their testimonies.
That's really cool. So what are some interesting classes that you guys offer, like the bachelor's or minor's offers?
We have a lot of interesting classes, and I'm lucky to teach several of these here on campus. Our Intro to Women's Studies and our Intro to LGBTQ Studies satisfy a core requirement, so it's for majors and non-majors alike. We do really interesting work and look at different things like history and pop culture, literature, and things going on in the media to get a better understanding of different gender issues. In my classes, for instance, I also incorporate different service learning projects. I also have students complete research-based creative projects, like my Intro to Women's Studies courses do a class scene, where each student submits a creative project, and it could be a poem, a piece of art, a collage, etc. And then the students work in panels or committees to compile, edit, revise, and publish their documents.
So you had mentioned that you guys offer undergraduate research opportunities. Is it only for the Bachelor's of Women's Studies, or can anyone who's interested in maybe pursuing a research study join? Anyone could join. Several of my students, I would say at least half of my students are non-majors and non-minors. In my Feminism and Globalization class, for instance, I would say that the majority of students are non-majors. And they find the class really interesting, and they're helping right now at the moment. They're actually running an essentials drive for survivors of human trafficking through the Rape Crisis Center, and we're collecting clothing and toiletries and other items, and we'll be tabling this week in the Sambria to pass out candy and share more information about our drive. And so we ask that faculty, staff, and students contribute, and we've already had boxes and boxes of items delivered, so we're very happy about that. And where can we drop off any items if we do, decide to participate in this drive? There are a number of boxes around campus. We have one in the Student Union, one in the English department in the main building, and one in the Women's Studies Institute. We also have one at the downtown campus in the Criminal Justice Department. And where is the Women's Study Institute located? It's in the MH building on the 3rd floor. Oh, okay, wonderful. Is there anything else you feel super important to bring up right now? I think we covered most of it, but I'm happy to answer any questions. We'll definitely have questions at the end, but thank you so much for coming out. This was very insightful. Okay, thanks. So next we'll have, from our academic advisors, Miss Melissa Blanton. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, Diana. I'm doing fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you for inviting me.
So just a little bit of background, which academic, which college are you a part of?
So I am an advisor with Engineering Advising, but today I'm representing all of advising. So I'll be talking about some things really general to all of academic advising at UTSA.
Awesome, thank you. Because I know, there's not one academic advisor that knows everything about all of the departments, but I definitely wanted to bring out an academic advisor to talk about the generalities of advising and the importance of going to your academic advisor. So first off, what is the role of an academic advisor?
So an academic advisor can be kind of summarized into 3 keywords: engage, teach, and encourage. So we engage students by helping students create a plan for graduation and meeting their academic goals. And we also want to encourage students to really take responsibility for your decisions. We can advise, but it's the students who decide. And then lastly, we teach them how to navigate the campus resources. Coming to UTSA, it's a very large university, and there are a lot of policies, a lot of students, and a lot of things to learn, so we really want to be helping students navigate all that.
Awesome. So kind of piggybacking off of that, I know that during orientation you're kind of forced to see your advisor for the first time, but I know that it's also important to definitely see your advisor afterwards. Can you highlight a little bit of why it's important to see your advisor after orientation?
Sure. Yeah, all students, when they come in for orientation, whether it's a brand new freshman or a transfer student, everyone's required to meet with their advisor. And primarily in that first appointment, we're getting to know the student and the student getting to know the advisor, and we're also making a plan for the classes in that first semester. But beyond that, there are so many other things that the advisor can help the students with. So, number one, UTSA really wants students to feel connected and engaged on campus. And the First Gen and Transfer Student Center is so great with that, because you provide a place for students to come and connect with one another. But academic advising can also play a role in that. Not only can we let students know about different campus organizations and centers, but we also can be like a mentor for students. We're going to have a one-on-one relationship with that student, sometimes all the way through graduation. So we want to help the student feel connected. Also, very importantly, we want to help you know what classes to take in the upcoming semester. So we help students create an individualized semester plan. We want students to know all the graduation requirements. So there are a lot of requirements. We want you to have a big picture view of everything that you need to do from the time you start in your first semester all the way through graduation. So helping you create a semester by semester plan for graduation, and stay on track for a timely graduation, and hopefully with as little debt as possible. Advising is a judgment-free zone. We want students to come to us if you're struggling. So if you're having some trouble in classes or trouble adjusting to college, we want you to feel comfortable coming to us so we can help and have those conversations and refer you to other offices if needed. And lastly, we want students to know about internships, experiential learning opportunities, and ways to maybe get employed after college. That's really important for students. So those are all things that academic advisors can help students with.
So just a quick little, question. This is our fifth season doing Mentor Monday live streams, and every season at the beginning we always talk about Census Day, and if your class schedule is too overwhelming, maybe drop a class or something like that. But we always advise our viewers to make sure to talk to their academic advisors. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to hear from an advisor why it's important to talk to an advisor before dropping a class or maybe even adding on a class.
Mm-hmm. Right, so any changes to your schedule might have impacts to your financial aid, to your bill, to maybe some other policies, and certainly to your degree progress. It might possibly even delay your graduation if you drop a class. So we want to make sure that when you make a decision to add a class or drop a class, that you have all the information necessary.
So now that we know why it's important to see an advisor, maybe how do I set up a meeting or meet with my advisor?
Sure. Well, it's really easy. For one thing, you can call your advising center. So if you know where your advising center is, you can call that number. All that information is on the advising website too. Or you can stop by the advising office in person and ask to schedule an appointment. But some students might be getting emails from their advisors asking them to schedule an appointment. And with that email link, students can actually go in through that link and schedule their own appointment. So that makes it really easy. But you don't have to wait for the email. You can always call the front desk of your advising center or stop by to schedule that way.
Speaking of email, can I just email my advisor if I have a quick question?
Sure, yeah. Advisors get a lot of emails from students, and that is one really important way to be in contact with your advisor. Some things are easy to answer by email, but other things really require a full appointment. So if in doubt, email your advisor, and your advisor can either answer your question or invite you in to have really a lengthy, detailed conversation about your concern. One thing about emailing your advisor, please remember to include your full name and your banner ID, because sometimes we have several students with the same names. So it's always helpful so we can access your record.
And it should be your name, not like, Mike or a nickname, right?
Right, yes, your full name as it shows in Banner. That really helps us know exactly what record to look up, and some of your questions might be very detailed, so we want to give you the most accurate information possible. So the full name and Banner ID is always helpful.
And then you had mentioned something about DegreeWorks. Can you go into a little bit more of what is that?
Yeah, DegreeWorks is a really great tool that we've had here at UTSA for several years now. And one wonderful thing about it is students can access it yourselves through your ASAP account. So you would go on to ASAP, and under Student Services and then under Student Records, you'll see DegreeWorks listed. So every time that I meet with my students, I always have their DegreeWorks pulled up. And DegreeWorks is a tool that shows progress toward degree completion. So you can see the classes that you've already taken, the classes that you're currently enrolled in, as well as the degree requirements that you still need to complete. So it really is helpful. It can help you create a semester by semester plan so you know exactly what to take each semester. You can also monitor your progress toward graduation. You can even run a what if, so if you're wondering what it would look like if you wanted to change your major, you can run that analysis and get a better idea of what it would look like if you were changing your major. You can also calculate your GPA, and like I said, it's really easy to access through your ASAP account.
Awesome. Do you have any last tips or tricks or important information?
Yeah, I would say read your emails from your advisor. We don't spam students. We try not to. We try to only contact you when it's important information that's going to help you. So please read your emails from your advisor. And some students have said that they don't get emails from their advisor. So one reason could be that maybe the email preference that you have set up in ASAP is not the email that you check. So make sure that whatever email you have in ASAP is the email that you actually check.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And so next we'll have a relatively new center here on campus from the Dreamer Center, Courtney Balzaras Jacobs. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
So you guys are relatively new on campus, so can you give a little explanation about what you guys do and what it is to be a Dreamer Center?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Dreamers Resource Center was a presidential initiative born out of the work of students, faculty, and staff here at UTSA who for the last 8 years had been advocating for a physical space and full-time position for our Dreamers. And when we talk about Dreamers, I'm referring to the undocumented youth, which includes both documented and then undocumented students. So it's a fairly large population in San Antonio, and especially here at UTSA, we do have a significant Dreamer population. So we opened January 22nd of this year, so we're only about 10 months old, and I started full-time at the center in June. So this is our first full semester of really being in operation. We're located in the Student Union Building 2.0104, right above the Chili's 2 with the Student Center for Community Engagement and Inclusion, which was intentional that we have it in that inclusive space so that students wouldn't feel hesitant in coming. There's lots of different student populations that use that space, and so students are able to come in. There's a lounge area where they can hang out and either do homework or meet. There's a student group on campus, Immigrant Youth Leadership, that is comprised of our Dreamers as well as Dreamer allies, and they've had meetings there. We have a conference room that we utilize for specifically right now legal services. When we've had those available on campus, we do DACA renewal clinics, and as of last month we started a new thing that is group platicas with UTSA counseling. And so they come in on the last Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. into the conference room, and students are able to come in and just have that safe space to talk about challenges or achievements that they've had throughout the semester to just kind of come together and bond. Yeah.
So I know that a huge, stigma and fear of this community is coming out and seeking help and then finding out it was the wrong person to seek help from. and kind of getting like, that turn back, their backs turned to them. Can you reassure our audience that is watching and maybe is a dreamer that it's okay to come out to the Dreamer Center?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question, thank you. And that is one of the main reasons that the center was open, so that there would be a person and a space where students can come without any type of fear of disclosing their status. Also, they don't have to. I don't ever ask anybody that comes to see me about their status. If they volunteer that information, we're able to talk more in depth about it, and I can give more specific information depending on what the issues are. But truly, it's a space where they're able to just come and they can bring all their questions to me. I work with all the different critical offices on campus so that students aren't having to go, to 4 different offices and disclose their status, specifically when students are new, right? We see a lot of that when students have either newly been admitted or they're just joining UTSA and they have questions with financial aid, residency, sometimes even admissions. So they're able to just come to one place, let me know what all their concerns are, and then I can be their liaison so that they're not having to go, to random people across campus.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So what services do you guys offer for students?
Right. So one of the main ones is that primarily, and it has been utilized a lot since we've opened, is I see students on a walk-in basis, and then they'll bring a multitude of questions to me about different things they need handled, and so I'm their liaison. Like I said, we also have these group platicas, so group counseling within the center, legal sources. We've had DACA renewal clinics, so for students who are documented, please follow our Facebook page. That's where I put all of the updates about when we have these clinics, or when other clinics are happening in San Antonio or the surrounding area. We've also had Raíces, which is the Refugee and Immigrant Center for Education and Legal Services, come on campus, and they are in-house. Right now, we had them a week ago for 4.5 hours, and they'll be coming next week. And the representatives are just there to talk students through what's needed to renew DACA, or if they're undocumented students, other general questions that they might have. And then we do other programming. So we have workshops. Let me see, I've got all my dates. On October 16th, we're going to do an employment and internship workshop because there are some, different workarounds for this dreamer population. TASFA and financial aid workshop will be on November 13th because the TASFA deadline was moved up for this year, so it's really important that students complete early. It's now January 15th when it was previously March 15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so are all these, you had mentioned you have a Facebook, are all these dates and events on that Facebook?
Most of them. They will be up there soon, but yeah, these dates will be up there. We also have a Dreamer website, and that has some information, but really the Facebook is the most up-to-date space. We're going to be having an ally training. That's another thing that we do, ally training on campus for students, faculty, and staff to become not only familiar with Dreamer issues, but then also find out how they can support Dreamers.
And so is this ally training for registered, like you have to register for it, or can you just show up?
They'll have to register for it. It'll be on Rowdy Link.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And what was the Facebook name so that if anyone wanted to follow, do you have
Let's see, it's UTSA Dreamers, so it's hashtag UTSA Dreamers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So definitely follow that if you're interested. You had mentioned a little bit about bringing different off-campus resources on campus. Do you have any off-campus opportunities or maybe engaging in the community?
Yeah, so we do work very closely with Raíces, and there are always volunteer opportunities for them. For instance, over the summer when family separation, zero tolerance really hit an all-time high, Raíces had a high demand for needing volunteers for that specific reason. They also have DACA renewal clinics across the city, so students and faculty and staff can volunteer for that. I personally am working, personally meaning for the center, on behalf of the Dreamer Center, working with the City of San Antonio and various groups, local ISDs, to spread awareness about Dreamer issues, and Diplomas, which is a local think tank group.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned that you can see students on a walk-in basis. Can they also bring like family members, or is it specifically to UTSA students?
It's mostly for UTSA students, but I've had students bring family members. So of course, the student just has to consent for us to be able to talk about their personal issues in front of their family.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anything else I guess that you feel would be very important to know about the Dreamer Center?
Just that it exists, spread the word, and that's the way a lot of people have found the office, by word of mouth or through orientation. Excuse me. Since we're new, So just really spreading awareness so that students know about it. And come see me. You can always email. It's dreamers@utsa.edu or call.
Can somebody who maybe like wants to be an ally come talk to you about like ways to get involved?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we'll be bringing in all of our guests now and answering questions that you guys may have had. So if you'd like these quiz. So our first question is for academic advisors. Can we change our academic advisor, or are we kind of just stuck with the same advisor all 4 years? No offense.
Well, it really is beneficial for students to stay with the same academic advisor throughout their time at UTSA, just because you're building that relationship and your advisor really wants to get to know you and help the students reach their goals. But if there's a concern with communication, or if you're changing your major, sometimes it is appropriate to change your advisor. So you can email sometimes the advising center that there's a concern with. If you're wanting to change within the center or change to a new center due to a change of major, then you can just contact that advising center. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So one of the questions that came is for student activities. Is it too late to join Greek life?
So that's a tricky question to answer, only because we have 4 different councils here on campus. We have the Interfraternity Council, the Panhellenic Council, the Multicultural Greek Council, and the National Panhellenic Council. Panhellenic, which has some of our oldest sororities in the nation on it, has already closed their recruitment for the fall semester. However, those organizations may have some openings for spring semester, so it's definitely worth reaching out to Gil Moreno specifically, who's our program advisor for fraternity and sorority life. IFC has also closed their recruitment for this semester for the fraternities that fall under their council. But for the Multicultural Greek Council and the National Panhellenic Council, I know those organizations are still in the process of recruiting for the fall semester. So again, I would encourage students to reach out to Gil Moreno or to stop by the Fraternity Sorority Council's office, which is located in the HEB Student Union along the storefronts. What used to be next to Frost Bank, which is currently empty at this time, but feel free to pop in and ask any questions that you have.
Awesome, thank you. So our next question is for the Women's Studies Institute. How can I get involved if I don't want to have a bachelor's in women's study or a minor in women's study?
We invite all students to enroll in our classes. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of our students enrolled in our senior level, junior level classes are not majors or minors. Sometimes they switch over, right? But we do ask students to come in and enroll in our courses and have the opportunity to learn more about what we do and how it can serve them.
Awesome. Next question is for the Dreamer Center. What can we do to support the Dreamer Center and Dreamers, or get kind of like that, we are here for you type of vibe going?
Yeah. So I think the number one thing is to attend an ally training. Absolutely. Become an ally. You'll get a placard, you're going to get a cool wristband, and just really showing that visible support for Dreamers is really important.
Awesome. Our next question is for our academic advisors. You guys talked about internships during the your little 10-minute segment. Can y'all really help with internships and like career advancements?
It really varies about the field that the student is in. What the advisor's role is primarily with helping with internships is helping the student know where on campus they can really get that focused, specialized help. For instance, we work with the Career Center, and we refer a lot to the Career Center because they can help students kind of polish up their resume. The Career Center partners also with other success centers on campus to bring in STEM fairs and career fairs. Bringing in guest speakers is a big thing for networking opportunities. So a lot of the academic advisor role is just encouraging students to do internships, helping you figure out a good semester in which to work it into your plan, and then making sure you're connected to those other offices on campus.
Awesome. So for our student activities, y'all had mentioned a lot about RowdyLink. Several of the guests have talked about it. So what is RowdyLink?
What is RowdyLink? It is your hub and your home to find out everything that's going on, not just with our student organizations, but also our various departments here on campus. And so every student can access RowdyLink just by using their MyUTSA ID, otherwise known as your ABC 123 and passphrase. You can see events that are posted by the various organizations and departments. You can also catch up on some news articles that they're posting as well. And you can also learn about those different organizations as well as departments on how to join or get involved with them through RowdyLink. So it's utsa.edu/RowdyLink and your MyUTSA ID and passphrase to gain access to it.
Awesome, thank you so much. So next is for our Dreamers Center. This was kind of answered earlier, but if I come in with some questions, not just about myself, but my family status, can you guys help me with that, or is it just for the students?
So it's primarily for students. Like I said, parents are welcome to come in. I'll speak with the parents as long as the students give consent. But as far as legal advising, really I'm going to refer them out to an immigration attorney, one of our partners or Raíces, if that's the specific reason. But if it's general information, certainly a student can bring their parent as well.
Okay, cool. So you guys have like resources for the family as well in the community.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. Next we have for our Women's Study Institute. Do you guys have any clubs or organizations associated with y'all that we can join?
We do. We have a club called Women in Leadership here on campus, and it's advised by our director of the Women's Studies Institute, Dr. Sonia Saliva-Hall, and it helps students of all different genders kind of prepare for leadership roles in our community.
Awesome, thank you. So this is kind of a long question for our academic advisors. First off, how often should I meet with my advisor? When should I schedule a meeting throughout the semester? Is there like an ideal time? And then also, what is the policy if I need to see my advisor within the next week?
Okay. So how often should I meet with my advisor? We'll start with that one. I like to meet with students at least once a semester or maybe once a year. But for some students, if they are using their degree works and checking their semester plans that we make available on degree works for students to review, sometimes there's not a need for a student to come in and see us that often. Other students might need to see us more often. So it's really depending on the student and the student's needs. Also, when in the semester should I set up a meeting? Earlier is better, because registration, if you can believe it, registration starts later this month. And then things are going to get really busy in the advising centers because a lot of students have questions and you know, they might have concerns. So it's harder to get in to see your advisor if you wait longer. You might have to wait, depending on how many students are also in line ahead of you, you might have to wait a few weeks in cases. So schedule an appointment earlier in the semester. And then the policy for emergency meetings. Emergency is a very subjective word, so it depends on the emergency. But if you have something that is an emergency in your mind, then email your advisor and explain the situation. Or if you need to come in to see an advisor, in some cases, advisors might be able to see you depending on what's going on. So we really want to be accessible to our students and help you in a timely way.
Awesome, thank you so much. And our last two questions are for the student activities. First off, you had mentioned that we need to get our flyers and banners approved. Where can we do so?
You will come to the front desk of the Student Activities Complex inside the HEB Student Union, and our front desk staff will assist you with getting your flyers and your banners approved. They'll even provide you with information on where those posting locations are located here at both the main campus as well as our downtown campus. And so stop on by and visit our front desk anytime you have questions about banners, flyers, anything to do with the office.
And that can only be done on main campus, not downtown campus, correct?
Correct. So any flyers or banners that you want to take to the downtown campus, we'll approve here at main campus first.
Awesome, thank you. And the last question, who can we talk to if we want to join an org, but we don't necessarily know which one?
So I'm a great resource to reach out to, but so is Amanda Perez, our Assistant Director for Student Activities. We can both help you navigate through RowdyLink to see what organizations are out there, and then help get you connected to them if you're interested in learning more about a certain organization.
Awesome. And lastly, can we get everyone's social media or like Best Way website to kind of get stayed up to date with what resources and events you guys have? So we'll just start.
You want to start with me?
Yeah.
So RowdyLink is still your best resource to find out about student organizations and things happening on campus. Although you can also go to our website, which is utsa.edu/SA. And additionally, our social media handle for all platforms is @UTSA-STU-ACT. And you can find out all kinds of information. Our social media game has really gotten strong this year, so our team is doing a great job of posting on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep you up to date, keep you motivated, and keep you connected. And if you have questions and you want to reach us by email, our email account is getinvolved@utsa.edu.
Our handle for our social media is the Women's Studies Institute. Women's Studies Institute. We're on Instagram, Facebook, etc. And we're also currently updating our website.
All right, well, and I'm a little unprepared. I'm a little behind this, behind the times with social media, but I know that Advising does have a social media presence here on campus. I would say go to the Advising webpage. So it's utsa.edu/advising, and you can see the Twitter feed, and you can also see postings of important deadlines coming up. So start there, and I'll have to get back to you, Diana, with more of that information.
And then we're utsa.edu/dreamers. On Facebook, UTSA Dreamers, so @UTSA Dreamers. Or you can email me, dreamers@utsa.edu, or call 210-458-7777. Yes, 4 sevens.
So thank you so much to our wonderful guests again from the Student Activities, Academic Advisors, Women's Study Institute, and Dreamer Center. We're so grateful that you guys came out here. Just real quick, remember this week is homecoming, so there's a bunch of events.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
Lots happening.
Yes.
So much.
I definitely know for a fact there are flyers everywhere for all of the events. And then we've posted on our social media what the full list of events. So if you want to go,
and we'll definitely keep it updated all throughout the week. So make sure you check out our social media as well.
And then today there was free HIV testing from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you went to that. And then later this evening from 5:30 to 6:30, right after this live stream, there's going to be some Zumba.
Ooh. Where?
Oh yeah, in the ICT, or ITC. I have no idea what that is.
That's downtown.
Yeah.
Right across from the Alamo Dome.
Downtown.
So if you're
a drive.
downtown campus.
And tonight they're also having the golf cart parade decorating party. I know we talked a little bit about that.
Yes.
From 5:30 to 11:30 today, and that is on the Student Union lawn.
We've actually moved to the Jimenez Garage, right next to the lawn and the Student Union, since the weather is not wanting to cooperate with us today.
Nice.
Yeah.
But we're still going to be out there decorating, and we're still going to have free pizza, which I know the poster doesn't say that.
Oh.
And So then we have the golf cart parade tomorrow, and that is going to be on the Student Union Paseo from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So come out and see all the awesome golf carts they decorate today.
And you'll get to meet the Mr. and Miss UTSA candidates at the parade tomorrow,
nice.
since we talked about that earlier.
Be an informed voter.
Be an informed voter, yes.
And then we have Story Circle every Tuesday from 11:30 to 12:30 in the main building, 2.312. So that's, again, tomorrow from 11:30 to 12 p.m. 12 p.m. 12:30.
And then we have Roadrunners Live, which also talked about in the Student Union Ballroom 1 from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then the Homecoming Comedy Show on Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m.
There's a lot going
Also
on.
in the Student Union Ballroom.
We have the T-shirt exchange on a field day on Thursday from 4:30 to 7 p.m. in the Student Union lawn. And also Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. the Marketable Leadership Skills/Teamwork event. And
I also want to give a shout out to the downtown campus for homecoming on Thursday. It's the Homecoming Blitz in the Bill Miller Plaza starting at 11 a.m. for all of our downtown students.
Nice. Yay. So then we also have free dental screening on Friday from 1:30 p.m. to 3:45 in the in the Recreation and Wellness Center, 1.806. And then UC Cinema this weekend is going to be showing Deadpool 2, so there's several different times and locations for that. And then Rally at the Alley.
That's before the football game.
Oh, cool.
That's actually at the Alamo Dome in the parking lot C area.
Yeah. Starts at 2 p.m. Until 5:30. So come out and cheer on our Roadrunners.
Yeah. So again, a huge thank you to Sherilyn Jones Chavez, Miss Melissa Blanton, Megan Nieto, and Courtney Valderas Jacob for coming out and host our guest starring on our live stream. Stay tuned. Next Monday we'll have a mentor message coming at you.
Yep. All about being healthy while you're at
Yay.
school. So.
And so thank you again so much for watching. From the First Gen and Transfer Student Center. Have a good night.
Bye.